I kind of use Blueprint in two different functions. So the first is the daily check-ins. I have quite a few teams in particular that I can only see bi-weekly, and those check-ins allow me to track them throughout the weeks and to notice patterns and trends. So if all of a sudden their energy and positivity plummets on a Thursday, when they come in, I can say, what happened last Thursday? And it's a good platform, one, for me to know what's going on when I can't be with them, and two, to kind of pinpoint specifics. I find that a lot of my teams come in and say, I don't know, it was fine. And so this gives me, it's just the daily check-ins are a good way for me to track what's really happening. The other side of the coin is the assessments for me, and using those specifically as a diagnostic and tracking tool. So I find a lot of my clients who are coming in are coming to therapy for the first time ever, often with a history of trauma, history of abuse, history of all these things. And they can say, I feel these symptoms, but being able to sit them down, give them a weekly assessment, and graph and track what that means adds so much clarity for me and for them to what the DSM says. You know, we can sit and go through the DSM criteria, but to see it and to track. Like, I have a client who has bipolar 2, and we didn't know she had bipolar 2, and to track her mania and depression as they kind of helix into each other, she goes, oh, that's what it feels like. It's given language. And so the assessments are really helpful diagnostically, and just to kind of add some visual help to what that process looks like. I have an 18-year-old who came in with really high suicidality and depression symptoms. And so right in intake, I got him signed up in Blueprint. He'd never done anything like it before. He is diligent, like to the minute, logging all of his things. And so he was sort of exhibiting some like dysthymia symptoms and stuff like that. And so we started tracking it, and he's saying to me, I mean, it feels bad, but it's not that bad, you know, kind of these things. And I was able to, we've tracked him, I think now for about 6 weeks. I was able to pull it up in session every week. And he's like, oh, that's what it looks like. Cause he's doing the CESD, and it's graphing, and he's seeing like, oh, maybe this is real. And you guys have the crisis link, and that became part of his safety plan. And a big thing with him is like, I feel really suicidal, but I don't want to go to the hospital. And, you know, he's 18, so that can feel really big. Well, last week, he actually went and checked himself into the hospital by himself. And we did a telehealth session, and he was like, well, I just know that like we've been graphing it, we've been looking at it, and like maybe I really did need to go get some help. And it was really cool because he said to me in session this week, that's the first thing I've ever done for myself. And I don't think he would have done that and taken that step. And now he's on medication, he's doing all these things without being able to see it. And so it was just a really cool moment of like, Blueprint literally contributed to this guy staying alive. And that's, you know, that's like the really big picture goal, which is super cool. You know, in grad school, we used a lot of paper assessments. And when I came into my agency, I was still sort of using the paper assessments and had never considered what it would look like to have access to something that was different, the same assessments, just in a different form. And I really wasn't prepared for how much this was going to change the way that I practiced. And I say to my husband all the time, he's a school counselor, I'm like, Blueprint is life-changing. Like I said that the other day, because I can't see my clients right now, and I'm able to sit down and look at what's going on. And that is such a gift as a clinician, to feel connected, because that's so important, right? It's so Frigerian. But just that connection and that rapport building, and this is another way to do it. And I'm just really grateful that you guys have provided a platform and worked so hard to make this accessible and easy to use.